Hello, YouTube. Hello, you guys. It's my last day in Croatia, and I had a little bit of time, and I thought what could be a little video I could upload. And actually, I thought of something that I thought is maybe kind of interesting to you guys. It's definitely interesting to me, maybe a chance for some personal growth. And that is, I am going to revisit the topics that have cost me the most subscribers and caused me to get the most angry comments I have received since joining YouTube. Actually, having said that, my YouTube channel was on a very relatively steady growth pattern till about 2013, 2014, I would say. I probably averaged around 1,000 views in that time. Now I average, if I'm lucky, around 100 views. And so yeah, you can probably tell that since 2013, 2014, I've probably really started upsetting people with my opinions. And now we're going to go back and look at them and see if I've had any personal growth, if I've had any changes of mind, if I've revisited the opinion, the ideas, and maybe now want to apologize for them. We'll see, but probably not. And also, one of the things I kind of want to clear up, because I think this is also something that in general I have received a lot of critique for on my channel in general, not just specific to these couple of topics we're going to look at. And that is that I think a lot of people... So, if you don't know yet, I am a gay man. The vast majority, not all, but the vast majority of gay men are relatively progressive, leftist individuals, which I am not. And I think if you are somebody who, I would say most gay men, they do generally live in a bubble of progressive people and progressive ideologies. So when they stumble across my channel and I, as a gay man, say very, not even very, I would say classical liberal kind of opinions, the only thing I really feel I'm conservative in is that I'm very much a proponent of capitalism. But other than that, I don't... Whatever. I think it's kind of an affront to them and to what their view of reality and what they've come to see as the truth. So a lot of people have accused me over a long time, and a lot of comments in a lot of my videos that be like, you know, your opinions are so arbitrary and you think you're the arbiter of truth, and, you know, but you can't back anything up. And something I've said on my channel numerous times, and I guess it bears repeating again, is this is my channel where I voice my opinions. Maybe I should have more often in the past mentioned that how I have come to have the opinions I do. Well, I'm not the youngest man anymore. I've lived now in 9 countries. I have gone to university for a bachelor's in one country, a master's in another country. I have lived as a gay man and in different times of my life, looking in different ways, times when I've been very athletic and very fit and seen the response and the kind of feedback I got from gay men that way. Then my time living in San Francisco, where I kind of had to take advantage of that because I didn't have anything, to now living a comfortable life, not caring so much anymore, maybe having gained a little bit of weight, maybe not having to look that gentleman, and the way gay men respond to me now. So what I'm trying to say is my opinion is very much based off of the life I have lived and the experiences I've made, which I think a lot of people's opinions come from that, the conversations and debates and I've had with other people, not just gay men, but trans people, black people from all over the world where I've lived and traveled, the experiences they've told me, from books I've read, from documentaries I've watched. I mean, these opinions I have are not as arbitrary as a lot of people think they are. And yes, I will say it is a fair critique when people say, maybe because I don't annotate them or I don't list like all my references and all this kind of stuff. I'll take that one on the face, like on the face, on the nose. And I think that's a fair critique to some degree. The only real answer I have to that is I'm really lazy when it comes to my videos. And I admit it, which is probably another reason why they've never been all that popular on YouTube. I'm lazy to edit. I'm lazy to put down 7,000 sources. I'm lazy to put all kinds of jingles and jangles and images and all this kind of stuff. I kind of always hope that my want for a better society would be strong enough so that I could forgo all the other bells and whistles, but I guess I can't, and I guess it's not. Yeah, so that's fair. I don't want to promise that in the future I will annotate everything I say and always say exactly where my opinion derives from, and because I know that I won't, because I'm just overall too lazy. I'm sorry. So, but it's not as arbitrary as you might think. Anyway, let's go into the first topic. This caused me so many angry people leaving my channel. Oh my god. And that was when I came out talking about my view on the corona situation. Oh my god, people were so upset with me. So initially, my view on corona, from the very, very, very get-go, I was very, very much against all the lockdowns, all the closing of the stores, all the staying at home, all the don't travel around things, that from the very, very get-go. And to this day, I still think that was wrong. I still don't think that that was something we should have done. It's a huge mistake in my opinion. In the very beginning, I was also very, very much against the mask. I've relaxed a little bit about the mask, even though from what I'm reading, there's still all kinds of different opinions on how helpful they are. And some say they only help the other person. Some say they only help yourself. So, but whatever. Wear the mask, social distance, wash your hands. It's fine. My original critique of the corona issue was more based on the fact that the death rate was so low. Which it still is. The death rate of corona is still very, very low. And that was, for the most part, where initially I really was like, I don't see the sense in shutting down the entire world economy for a disease that has such a low death rate. Still think that logic is sound. But then later, what it turned more into a morality issue for me. And I think for a lot of other people, it already started as a morality issue. And I think this is just where I don't really know how to, in German we have a saying like how to, like, auf den grünen Ast kommen, like how to meet on a green, what is that called, on a tree, the thing where the birds sit on? Okay, I should not use that analogy because I don't know how to explain in English. But I don't know how to come to, compromise. I don't know how to come to a compromise with people when it comes to this, because it's a morality issue. So I think a lot of people, they took this corona situation and their morality on this issue was, if we can stop someone from dying, it is our moral obligation to stop them from dying. Which, fair enough. If that's your morality, that's your morality. And I can talk till I'm blue in the face. I'm not going to change your opinion on this. But that's not my morality. Having, in my own personal life, seen people inch by inch going into death, and the pain and the suffering, and them actively saying, I just want it to be over, I just want it to be dead, has really changed my opinion on the idea of death. I don't see death as the ultimate horrible thing. To me, suffering is worse. And if when I look at something like Corona, and I have to decide between, okay, the vast majority of people on the planet suffering in the long term versus a few extra people staying alive, my morality tells me we need to think of the vast majority of people and their suffering, and people are suffering. I mean, the amount of job loss, the amount of insecurity, the amount of suicides that have gone up, and just the amount of marriages and families that have broken apart, and friendships that have ended. And I mean, a lot of these things sound really trivial to people, but I think especially the young generation, I'm talking like people between like 10 and 20, 25, losing so many prospects in their life. And if you talk to like a lot of like psychologists around the Western world, they are booked full of people who are just completely riddled with depression and anxiety at this point and aren't sure of how to integrate back into normal life because of the security we've taken away from them. And I can't. I personally, on my view of what morality is, cannot agree with this short-term thinking. I don't know how to say it in a different way, but to me, that's where my morality sits, and yours might be different. These are two worlds that will never come together, but no, my opinion hasn't changed. If anything, I'm getting very worried now because now there's the Delta variant, and I already know they're going to use it as an excuse to say now we have to shut down again, and especially towards the young people. Okay, so no growth there. Haha. This is starting great, huh? Okay, the other thing that really got a lot of people upset is when I said that I was for Trump 2020. Last year I lost. A lot of people got really upset with me last year. I think I really went with that balls deep in like upsetting topics or divisive topics. Sorry, gotta use some cherries. So the whole thing with Trump, that I think a lot of people, they just heard me say that I was for Trump. I can't even vote in the US. And so, I don't know, but just saying that just really upset a lot of people. And I think they upset enough to where they didn't even listen to any of the nuance I was trying to give in this situation. Do I like Trump? I mean, I don't know Trump. Maybe he's an amazing person in real life. I don't know. But based off of what he presents himself, no. I think he is incredibly unpresidential. I think the way he handled the presidency was vulgar and tacky and shameful in a lot of ways on who he was as a person and how he represented himself. And he was by no means somebody that would be my top candidate. But for those of you guys who have been on my channel for a while, you know that I really have a problem with identity politics. I really, really disagree with the vast majority of identity politics. I think it's a complete sham, and I think it's going to really ruin our culture, especially in the long run. And he was the only person who was willing to push back on it. And he was a capitalist. So I was like, okay. And everything that was coming from the Democrat side was socialism and identity politics. And I was like, well, this isn't going to fly with me. And it's not even that I had a problem with Biden. I still don't have a problem with Biden because I think Biden is probably not even. I actually don't think the Democrats are very happy with Biden because he's actually almost centrist in his views in a lot of ways, which is not popular with the left anymore. And if Biden, to me, I had the feeling that he was going to last the complete 4 years, I really wouldn't have had an issue with him. But I don't like Kamala Harris. There, I said it. I don't like her. I don't like her policies. I don't think she's right for the job. I don't think she has the background for it or the knowledge for it. I think she is really just kind of throwing identity politics around, anytime anybody asks her anything, and it's kind of like how dare you ask me as a woman of color? How dare you ask me as, like, and no, I can't deal with her. And I still, right now, to this day, have a fear that any day now, Biden's going to say, I can't do this job. I mean, I don't know what YouTube policy is. Maybe you're not allowed to say that. But if you watch interviews of him, there does seem to be a cognitive decline going on with him very rapidly. So I don't know if he steps down and Kamala Harris. I definitely didn't want Bernie, and I definitely didn't want Kamala Harris. And better the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? So, what do I think? Would I, if I found other candidates from the Democratic Party or the Republican Party in 2024, would I then vote for Trump? No. So, but it really seemed to upset a lot of people. Okay. This one didn't upset as many people, but I thought I should bring it up anyway. And that is that also last year, I just pissed everybody off. I started kind of talking a little bit about the relationships between the different races. I don't want to get into this that much because anybody who's followed my channel for even a year knows that personally, I have always been the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I mean, hello. In terms of my dating, in terms of my sexual attraction to people, I mean, just now in Croatia, I met one of my YouTube subscriber who has been a long time YouTube crush of mine. He happens to be a black man. Nothing happened. We just met. We just talked. It was really nice talking to him. Arab men, Indian men. Oh. Indian men. Hello. But I feel a little bit annoyed with myself because something that really bothered me in my early 20s or mid 20s even was that at that time I saw a lot of profiles on like gay.com or whatever, and they always said no black guys, no Asian guys, or something like that. And I was always so personally offended by that I felt this need to belittle my own culture and belittle my own people, white people or whatever you want to call it, and saying things like, I don't like white guys, and white guys are stupid, and dumb white people, blah, blah, blah. And I do have videos up where I say stuff like that. And I think at that time I said it as a type of way to combat what I saw as very blatant racism in the gay community, which I still believe exists. But I think a lot of other white people have picked up this banner of we need to put down our own to uplift the other. And now that I'm seeing the repercussions of it, and now that I'm seeing things where black people in the US are actually legitimately coming out and saying all white people are racist and all white people are scum and white people we deserve restitutions and everything white people do is evil, and now I'm like, whoa, I am in part to blame because of my also juvenile attempt at saying, you know, we need to change some of the thinking that's going on in the world. And I think this is something where I've kind of changed my view. I mean, I'm still, like I said, Mediterranean, Arab, Asian, Indian. I just saw a really attractive Indian guy today. That's why I'm thinking about it. But not at the expense of my own culture. I'm not going to be ashamed of being white. I'm not going to be told that all white people are racist or all white people are the scum of the earth or all white people are oppressors and evil and all of our history is stolen and all this kind of stuff. No, that is garbage and that is BS. And I guess I've brought more of these topics up now because of the fact that I think it's gotten to a point where it's ludicrous. And I now have to acknowledge the fact that no, you don't have to you don't have to rip down white culture or white people to uplift black people. You don't have to rip down men to hold up women. No. I don't think that's a healthy way of thinking, and that is something I do regret from my previous action. So in this topic, I think there has been some personal growth. So yeah. Hey, my Indian brothers. God, he was so handsome. Okay, let's go to this topic next, and then we're going to start with the one that really also upset a lot of people. This is the topic that from the very weird get-go of my channel has really upset a lot of gay people. And that is my view on sex. So I think a very fair thing for people to think about is there is kind of a mixed message going on my channel, in that on the one hand, I do like gay travel guides, which kind of talk about being gay and the potential, the chance of having gay sex in foreign countries and stuff like that. And then you watch other views of on my channel where I talk about the fact that I'm very anti-open relationships, very anti, what is that other thing that gay people are doing now? Polyamory, whatever, like junk. Like, I don't believe in that. I don't agree with it. I think it's gross. The promiscuity in the gay community, that I'm against that. And this is something that really has upset a lot of gay people, because the vast majority of gay people, I don't want to say they like sex, because I like sex. Shocker. I'm not this Puritan prude who's just like, oh my God, get that dick away from me. It's like, no, but, you know. But, and this is where I think a lot of people are like, this is just because of your personal Puritan view, or maybe because you're jealous because you can't get laid. No, I'm neither Puritan, and, you know, not to toot my own horn, but if I want to get laid, I can get laid. It's never been a difficulty for me. This, again, very much comes from lived experience. As I mentioned in numerous channels, when I was in my early 20s, I was at that time what was very much, maybe not now anymore, depending on how fashion has changed, but at that time, I was what was considered the gay ideal. I was in very good shape. I was like somewhere between a twink and kind of a buff swimmer type body. You know, I had like short hair, a little bit suntan, blondish, brown skin. I mean, I was living near a place where there was a beach. Very jock, masculine presenting. And I got a very certain type of attention from people. And if you guys watch my videos when I was living in San Francisco and I was homeless, and I had to, the way I survived was by using the only commodity that was at hand to me. Ugh, this is always such a hard topic to talk about. And I would be recalcitrant if I didn't admit to the fact that that has caused long-term damage to how I view other men, how I view myself, my own self-worth. To this day, I have to combat this idea that my self-worth comes from how many men want to fuck me. And I'm not an isolated case when it comes to this. I've talked with so many gay men who have said that exact same thing, that they get no happiness out of being promiscuous, that this is a cycle of feeling bad about yourself, searching for validation. Here's some man who's willing to give you validation, as impermanent as it may be, and because you feel bad about yourself, because you maybe never really learned to love yourself, which I think is something that a lot of gay people suffer from, you'll go for the short-term validation, even though you know it's going to lead you into the next cycle. Because then you're going to get the short-term validation. That guy's not going to want anything from you. Then you're going to feel like crap about yourself again, which leads you to needing more validation. And it's this cycle. And this is something that, not only from my own lived experience and talking from other people, but so many psychological books on gay men and their behavior has come. This is not something that I'm just pulling out of thin air, people. Everybody wants to feel like they are loved and appreciated for who they are as an entirety. And not just because they've got a great six-pack or they have a 10-inch dick or they have the biggest bubble butt. Those are very short-term validations that in the long run will only cause people to have more self-esteem issues and more hurt. And so I always found it very... This is actually a very painful topic for me to talk about based off of my own past and how long it's something even like I said, to this day, I have to really work on, am I legitimately interested in this guy? Or am I attracted to the validation that he's giving me, that I'm okay? And the fact that wanting to really help other gay men not succumb to this cycle and to feel that they are worth somebody who loves them and appreciates them and only wants to be with them because they think that they're enough and good enough to be just with them. I can't believe that people take that as a negative against me. I think even from all these other topics, this is the one I think is like, I find it so, I just find it terrible. I find it terrible that as gay men really believe that they aren't worth being someone else's one and only. And that the gay people are already so brainwashed into believing this lie, which it is a lie, that this promiscuity and these open relationships and this polyamory, that this is this amazing progressive liberal way of being, and if to truly be happy you have to be willing to share your partner with anyone, and that is such damaging. Oh God, this is, I don't know how many times I've talked about this on my channel, and it just seems to so fall on deaf ear. This is something where we as a gay community have been so utterly brainwashed to think it is liberating if I think how different my own life could have been if I had not stepped into that cycle, if I had been led to believe by this so-called loving community that we all claim that we are, that I am worth more than just my body and the quick fuck that I could be to somebody, that I literally think it is evil. I literally think perpetuating this idea that sleeping around and multiple partners, and it's not that, and the thing is, I'm not saying you have to be ashamed of being a sexual person. Like I said, I enjoy sex. I do enjoy sex. I do think there's things that are now being shown in Pride, like diaper play and I'm a dog, where I'm like, okay, this is not a kink anymore. This is, you've got mental issues. But I don't know, BDSM, or I don't know, feet or role play or getting dressed up, whatever, it's all cool and enjoy it, but you really have to ask yourself, am I with this person because I legitimately enjoy this, or because I just want somebody to like me? And if the latter is your answer, then don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. You are more than a fuck. You are more than a fuck. And it's okay to have those standards and to say, I have enough standards to where I want to be more than someone's fuck. And I want to be more than just in some random polyamory relationship, which is basically just friendship with occasionally having sex. I want to be more, and I want to mean more to somebody. I don't think that is wrong. I think that is very healthy for you and your own sense of self-worth. Oh God, this is such a difficult topic for me when it comes to gay people. Okay, all right, and the last one. Sorry. Last one that really upset a lot of people was the last one that really upset a lot of people was when I was talking about how I don't believe in these made-up pronouns. I don't believe in gender fluidity. I don't believe in gender non-binary. can't say my opinion on this has changed at all. I think this is something that is nothing but narcissism. I think this is a group of people who, because of identity politics, we have now made it incredibly horrible to be either white, to be straight, or to be a man. And the way we are seeing young people react to this is to desperately try to find some way to become part of this